Mercury retrograde is here. And this time, the past is coming back. Have you noticed it yet? A message that felt strangely emotional, a memory that appeared out of nowhere, a conversation you thought was finished suddenly returning to your life. That is not necessarily a coincidence. On June 29th, Mercury turns retrograde in Cancer, beginning a 3-week period focused on reflection, revision, and unfinished emotional business. Most people hear the words Mercury retrograde and immediately think of delays, confusion, and communication problems, but that is only part of the story. This particular retrograde is happening in Cancer, the sign connected to emotions, memories, family, home, and personal security. And that is why this retrograde feels so personal. Mercury governs the way we think, communicate, plan, learn, and process information. When Mercury appears to move backward in the sky, the energy shifts away from rapid forward movement and toward review and reassessment. Normally, Mercury wants answers. Mercury retrograde wants perspective, and Cancer adds an emotional layer to everything. During the weeks ahead, you may find yourself revisiting old memories, questioning decisions from the past, or thinking about people you've not spoken to in a long time. Family matters may demand attention. Unfinished conversations may resurface. Emotions that seemed resolved could reveal deeper layers that were never fully understood. And here is what makes this transit especially interesting. What returns now may not be returning because it is unfinished. It may be returning because you are finally ready to understand it differently. That is a powerful distinction. Many people assume that looking back means moving backward, but sometimes looking back is exactly what allows you to move forward. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes people make during Mercury retrograde is resisting the review process. They try to push harder, move faster, force clarity, demand immediate answers. Yet the energy of this transit often works in the opposite direction. The harder you force things, the more resistance you may encounter. The more useful approach is curiosity. Ask questions, review assumptions, pay attention to what keeps repeating, because repetition is often where the message is hidden. And there is something else that deserves attention. This retrograde may bring surprising insights about emotional patterns that have been operating in the background of your life for years, a reaction that seems automatic, a fear that keeps showing up, a relationship dynamic that repeats itself, a decision you keep postponing. When Mercury moves through Cancer, the focus is not only on what happened, it is on why it still affects you. That is where the real opportunity lies. There is the strategy. If you want to work with this energy instead of fighting it, focus on 3 specific actions. First, slow down emotional reactions. Cancer is deeply emotional, and Mercury governs communication. That combination can make people more sensitive to criticism, misunderstandings, or perceived rejection. Before responding to a difficult email, message, or conversation, give yourself time. A reaction that feels urgent today may look completely different tomorrow. A simple pause can prevent unnecessary conflict. Second, review before you renew. This is an excellent period for revisiting existing projects, refining plans, updating strategies, and improving systems that already exist. Rather than asking, "What should I start?" ask, "What can I improve?" Many people overlook opportunities because they are focused only on what is new. Mercury retrograde often reveals value in what is already there. Third, close emotional loops. Think about conversations you never finished, promises you made to yourself, situations that remain unresolved in your mind. Cancer is strongly connected to emotional security, and unresolved issues quietly consume mental energy. Bringing closure to even one lingering situation can create a surprising sense of relief and momentum. And here's the hidden opportunity that many people miss. Mercury retrograde is not only associated with delays, it is also associated with discoveries. Information can surface. Missing pieces can appear. Misunderstandings can finally make sense. Sometimes what looks like a setback is actually a correction. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually protection. And sometimes what returns from the past carries a lesson that was impossible to see the first time around. From June 29th through July 23rd, the goal is not to rush toward the future. The goal is to strengthen the foundation beneath it, review, reflect, reassess, reconnect with what truly matters. Because when Mercury finally moves direct again, the greatest shift may not be happening around you. It may be happening within you. The conversation you avoided, the emotion you ignored, the lesson you were not ready to see. Those are the pieces this retrograde is bringing back into focus. And once they are understood, the path forward often becomes impossible to ignore. Not because the future suddenly changed, but because you finally cleared what was standing between you and it. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Zodiac Strategy and stay aligned with the cycles shaping the months ahead.